once again by my podcast partner, fellow QB nerd, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Mr. Brandon Newey. It's good to see you.
Thank you for
out, sir.
It's good. It's good to be back. Like back in the saddle. Pause, but man, it's good to see you. I feel like it's COVID all over again with back surgery. But hey, I'm blessed, making a great recovery. I'm just very excited to get back on this thing and get it rolling. You guys had a good show last week too, so
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, Lauren is man, he's been a blessing to join us
absolutely
so many times and be a part of this family. And Coach Shannon Harris, of course, he's a great friend of the show. From the DC Coach Defenders, always too. Welcome. So
we need to get like a little amigo, a little 3 amigo thing going, or 4, and just have a session.
Oh, for sure. That's coming on board. What have you been up to, man? I mean, I've come to visit you. I'm a good friend. I've come to see you a few times, but man, tell the folks, what have you been up to? You've been rehabbing this back surgery.
Yeah, man. So had a back surgery. I'm out about 3 months, from any physical activity. Just got my back brace off, so that helped. But man, it's just been a lot of resting, a lot of meditation. When you're going through injuries, man, you try to keep yourself out of that dark place. Now, this is the 3rd surgery in 5 years. So it's a different mental challenge, right? Especially getting into your upper 30s. You're there now. So, I'm just taking it day by day, man. Like, thank God, man, I'm able to recover pretty fast and, try to heal up like Wolverine. So I'll be back on those greens in no time, man. We got the AGA. We got, and in process of that, it's given me a lot of opportunity to just think about things. And we got a big golf group, the Athletic Golf Association, AGA. We got the logo.
Shout out to the AGA.
Yes, we got 27 guys committed, ready for the cash prize. June 7th, it's going down. So just because we're avid football fans and quarterback nerds, we love to golf and we suck at it. But
by the way,
it's cash on the line. Hey, anything can happen.
Fellow quarterback Robert Kent is a part of this group. I saw him.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the roster now. Mm-hmm.
Woo. All right, there we go.
It's going to be intense, man.
Can we
got Mark Clayton on the roster.
Mark Clayton is on the roster.
Mark Clayton is on the roster. Maybe we'll invite Coach Coles to make it 28. Now
what about Coach Harris? What about Coach Harris?
The only reason Coach Harris knows. He knows about this, but the only reason why I don't think it'll probably happen because they're going to be deep in the season. Yeah, they're going to be deep in the season. We don't want any distractions from you to dominate, do your thing.
No excuses.
Right.
No excuses tolerated. Come out, play your best, ball out, and have a good time. Hey, look, we're looking for a videographer to come out and record this day so we can make a little documentary, get it out here on the YouTube. So if you do video and you want to be a part of this, come out, hit us up, let us know. We could definitely use the support. We'd like to get that on video. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime type of event, although we plan to do it every year. But that's going to be a great time. Here's the good thing about you laying up and not playing a lot of golf. You've been watching a lot of TV. You've been reading a lot. You've been doing a lot of research. We talked about this last week, but we need to get your take, Brandon. What was the most surprising move for you with free agents and trades from a quarterback perspective in this offseason that was very, very busy?
It was a very busy offseason, wasn't it? But the trades, the two that stand out, there are 3, right? And it's obvious it's a trending topic. You have Russell Wilson going to Pittsburgh for a bag of Skittles and Sour Patches. They got a deal on that, right? Right. No. Then you get a potential stud of a quarterback, right? He's super athletic. He's young. He can learn. It's a good coach, player relationship. I think that's going to work out. Mike Tomlin's a player coach. We obviously know that. Justin Fields, man, for a 6th-round pick. And then I mentioned, didn't you trade up to get Justin Fields?
Yes.
In the top 10, or was it top 13? Was it around there, right? So you gave up that to get Justin Fields only to have him play for, 2 seasons? Was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons?
It was 3. It
was 3, right? Yeah. Now, granted, Jake, he's got to learn to throw from the pocket, man. I told you guys this during the Couch Coach. I explained this, and you guys were just hammering.
They also didn't help him. They didn't help him with scheme.
They didn't help him. They didn't help him with scheme.
Personnel. And now they did. They built this team and they get rid of him. It's ridiculous.
Well,
They give him a running
Pittsburgh's
back.
going to be a heavy run team.
Easy. That'll be easy. But Russell Wilson's gonna play. I mean, the only scenario I see that Russell Wilson doesn't play is if they come out and they're 3-3, and Mike Tomlin's like, okay, I'm pulling the plug.
Right. I think another one that stands out, man, is Kirk Cousins. You know, that's another one. And you go to a young core, good running back. They're tough defensively, right? They can make some noise. He's also playing indoors again, so that helps him.
He's got a big tight end to throw the ball to.
Right.
It hasn't been getting the ball thrown to him.
And that gave him number 8, just said, man, I need targets. I was like, wow, that's amazing. Maybe Kurt bless his charity. You know, he's a good dude, man. I just think right now it amazes me the contract of Kirk Cousins, and he's only won 1 playoff game.
I'm with you on that. And I like Kirk Cousins. I'm a fan.
I like him. Like, I'm not
bashing him. I don't understand how he gets
paid
so much money. And
it's just weird. Like, it's weird, man. In 12 seasons, 1 playoff game. Like,
it's weird that Atlanta would do that. I mean, they went through the Matt Ryan experience, and you essentially got an older Matt Ryan. You know, he's going to sit in the pocket and he's going to throw the ball. He's not going to move. He's not going to be able to get out of the pocket. He has, you know, zero mobility about this time and coming off an Achilles. I think he stole from Atlanta. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, his agent's phenomenal.
So much money.
Well, I think it's like this. He's taking these short-term deals, and I think to me that helps because you're not taking everything away from the team. Kirk Cousins each year has been able to compete. He's been to an NFC divisional title game. He lost to us with the Vikings, and then he turned around and went to a wild card game. They were on a run. He did it with a young core team. So he's taking these 3 to 4 year deals and benefiting from them. And he's benefiting especially from his production. I mean, let's not take away from what he's done. You know, the dude's good. He's a good quarterback, man. Him and Dak are very similar. I just need to see more, man. They're already favorites.
He's better than Dak.
They're the same player.
He's a better. Here's the thing. He's a better passer.
They're the same player,
but he's not as mobile as Dak. I
don't know if Dak's that damn mobile.
People say they're the same player because they get that knock that they can't beat winning teams. But if I put both of them in the pocket, Kirk Cousins is a better pocket passer than Dak Prescott. He just can't move like Dak can. And Dak chooses not to move.
I don't think Dak can really move like that. To be so slim, he has no wiggle. I don't understand that.
No. Well, he's going through some injuries.
He's stiff. No. You still going to have them hips. No. It don't matter, man. Like, at least have a little heh.
So who won for you? I'm going to guess who it was because I think you're going to say the same thing that we all said. But who won the quarterback free agent market?
Man, to be honest, I think it's Pittsburgh.
It's absolutely Pittsburgh.
I think it's Pittsburgh, man. I just think that is a resurgence. I think Russell Wilson's going to be more. I think his ego's been checked. He's only on the roster for $1 million, right? He's made all his money, got another baby on the way, I think, maybe. So his mindset's probably towards maybe I'm being a bridge quarterback. Hopefully I save, at least go to a deep playoff run, maybe a potential MVP appearance to resave his Hall of Fame career.
He put himself in one of the toughest divisions in football.
I understand that, but Russell Wilson's career after Seattle, it's been a disaster, and it's potentially cost him the Hall of Fame.
I don't think it's going to be any better in Pittsburgh, to be honest with you.
I think it could because it's just a different mentality. Look at Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a player coach. Right, he gets along with everybody, gets everybody enthusiastic, fires up, plays within your strengths. Great coach. Look at Mike Tomlin. Yes, he's a disciplined coach, but that's still your guy, right? Like he's a player's coach, but you respect him, love him. He's going to try to put you in the best situation to win. Russ is used to that. Look at Sean Payton, a dictator. Yeah, your way of the highway came from the Bill Parcells tree. It's cool and all, but it's outdated. You don't get the best from Russ. You got to. I think Russ can still make it happen, man. His stats don't lie. He may have had some poor games that stand out in prime time, but overall, I think his touchdown to interception ratio was elite last year. I mean, just call it what it is.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad, was it? What was it, 27 and 6?
I'm a fan.
What was it, 30 TDs and 6 picks? That's, bro.
He's on my wall.
You know how hard that is?
He's in the corner, but he's in the Wall of Fame.
Now I
Good
just
old
think
Russ.
now he
As a
ain't got
Seahawk.
no he has no line. He
Yeah,
has no
I
line.
don't know. I go back and forth with this. Yes, you know, the Steelers win. Somehow
Sure.
they always have winning seasons. Maybe Russ will do some things there. I don't think they have a particularly good team in Pittsburgh, and I think Russ could be set up to maybe get benched at some point throughout the season for Justin. And what blows me away about Justin, I wish we had some Atlanta fans on here because I want to know why the Falcons did not make that move. Why the Falcons did not bring Justin to Atlanta if it was for sure the Bears were ready to trade him. I don't understand why you would pay that money to Kirk Cousins and not bring in a guy like Justin Fields with the upside that he brings. So
I
help me
understand it.
make that make sense for me.
I'll definitely make it make sense. Here's why it makes sense.
like
Zach
boring
Robinson is the offensive coordinator who came from the Shanahan tree, Coach McVay tree.
Okay.
Used to Kyle,
Now I understand.
right? So it makes a lot of
About
sense.
scheme.
And it's about scheme. It's about the right fit, being familiar with the terminology. But it's also about a guy who's looking to get rid of the ball quick. Justin probably didn't fit that mold.
No, not
Right?
at all. He is not
didn't.
that type of
The only
quarterback.
reason why I would have liked that mesh with him and Zach Robinson, because Zach Robinson was very much like a Justin Fields in college. If you remember Zach Robinson from Oklahoma State, Zach Robinson, him and Dez Bryant. What?
I remember Dez.
What?
Why don't I remember the quarterback?
What? Zach Robinson was a baller, zone read guy, play action boot. Here's a crazy story. The irony. He was my roommate in camp when we had camp our senior year. He's from Colorado.
Okay.
I mean, we just followed each other from Oklahoma. I was the low end school. They were the two big dominant D1 schools. Makes cool sense, but always stay connected. It's cool to see him do his thing.
No, I like the insight that you're bringing there, and the fact that the scheme just doesn't quite work for a guy like Justin Fields. Just like I mean, it's the reason Trey Lance wasn't successful in San Francisco. I would say
correct
because
it's all about timing.
That sort of quarterback, although Brock Purdy is. All right, so we kind of agree.
What do I know?
We really don't know what's going to go on with the Steelers. Are the Falcons set up to win with Kirk Cousins? You know, it's Kirk versus Baker. I mean, think about Tampa. How good did Tampa do? You know, getting Baker in and really getting him for the cheap. And Baker was very vocal about it, saying, "Look, I needed Mike Evans to get signed. I needed the tools around me, and this is still life-changing money." So I feel like Tampa won because they got a really good quarterback and they got him on the cheap.
I feel it's a good move. I feel it is a good move. Baker's a baller. Baker deserves it. Baker's been humbled. But Baker still has that moxie, man, which everybody fell in love with. So
he's a winner.
To have Mike Evans get signed back, that's great. I thought we were talking about more, you know, free agent acquisitions instead of re-signings.
Well, I mean, we said, listen, Baker was a free agent. Tampa didn't have to sign him.
He didn't, right.
So he could have gone anywhere.
And Mike Evans was too, wasn't he?
Mike Evans was also a free agent. So Tampa locked those both in. I think that was a good move. But in the big scheme of the trades and all that, obviously Pittsburgh won that. And the money that they're paying to both quarterbacks, at least this year, is nothing, which really opens them up to do anything. And they didn't do much in way of free agency. So it's going to be interesting what Pittsburgh brings in that really tough division. You know, we're going to see. So let's move on. We've got the combine, and you weren't able to be a part of that conversation last week. Well, we've talked a little bit, but I'm really interested because I think that we're going to disagree a little bit when it comes to some of this stuff. Your thoughts on the combine and who impressed you the most? That's the first thing I want to know. Then we'll go from there.
There's two guys that really stand out. I mean, it's McCarthy and it's Penix. I feel like their footwork was smooth. Timing was there. They did all the right things that they needed to do. Although I felt like with McCarthy, it's good to see him live. But honestly, you know, the pro days to me, I felt like a very disappointed in Spencer Rattler. Although I know he can sling it. And I think he's going to be a serviceable quarterback at the next level. I think he has good tools, good playmaking tools. But you run a 4.96, man. You can't do that at 6 foot. You just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you got offensive. You got offensive linemen that are running that faster than that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Defensive linemen.
Are running.
I'm talking about in the trenches.
Right.
I'm talking about the 3 technique and 0. All that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bear down. Like, yeah. that can still run faster than that.
Uh,
But man, McCarthy and Penix, they impressed me, man. They're seasoned guys. You know,
yeah.
their footwork was very impressive. We're just talking about the combine strictly, right?
Yeah, just the combine, because that's really, I mean, we didn't talk about the pro days last week because they hadn't really happened yet for the most part. And I know you and I are going to talk a little bit about combine versus pro day and things like that. Let's get into this a little bit. There's some quarterbacks that didn't work out at the combine, and in a lot of people's mind, it's the top 3 quarterbacks that did not work out at the combine. How do you feel about that?
I love it.
You love it. Okay. See, I'm gonna. So I
there's
saw
no
this
point.
debate.
There's
I saw
no
this
point.
debate with RG3 and Shannon Sharp, and as far as RG3 was very big because he's a big component of player power. He's a big component of empowerment for the players, and so RG says, look, players should be able to demand where they play, and it's a players' league now, and they're going to take over, and that's why college coaches are leaving college because they don't have the same power that they used to over these kids with the NIL. I don't know that I agree with that wholeheartedly, but then Shannon Sharp comes and says, you know what? You got to earn that. You didn't earn that in college. Deion started this whole thing, right, by talking about Shador and what's his name, number 12? I can't think of his name now. You know what I'm talking about. Travis Hunter. And saying that those kids will not go to certain cities. Deion maybe has that clout to pull that off. There's certain guys that do that. I didn't like it when Manning did it. I think playing the NFL is a privilege. I think the combine is a job interview. And personally, what are you trying to hide? What is it about yourself that you don't want everyone to see because you think you're a top 1, 2, 3 pick? What are you trying to hide? That's my thought on it. And maybe I'm old school.
You went down the rabbit hole. It went from the combine to the NIL. Like which one?
Well, I was just giving you the context of where this conversation comes from as a whole, and where RG3 sits. I think you kind of sit more towards RG3 is what I'm feeling like, and I sit more towards Shannon. But I want to know really where do you sit?
So for me,
because you said you loved it that he didn't work out.
I loved it that he didn't work out at the combine. I'm all for players. If you're a top 5 player, top 10 pick, your film speaks for itself. Obviously, you're there. The people are saying you're there. Let's focus in on pro day and have a phenomenal pro day and block out the noise. And I feel like what a lot of that combine is for guys who feel like they aren't getting the looks that they need to. Maybe the stats weren't there, but maybe they can test out really well and go high, right? I think that is, to me, what the combine is for, in my opinion. Your top 10 guys, your guys who are going to be picked top 15 maybe, do your pro day. Save it. Let's focus on the little things, right? Okay. Get better, right? That's to me, it's going to be more pressure anyway because there's more scouts on you, like looking at you, not just looking at everybody else. You got some people that are sitting there on their phones while people are doing lineman or drills. You see it. Right.
Well,
so
this is where you and I differ and I'm going to ask you the next question, which we know your answer by what you just said is what's more important, the combine or the pro day?
Just depends your position. Where are you at? Let's just say that.
My opinion, right or wrong,
it's an example.
It's my thought that the pro day is easier than the combine, and I'll explain. The combine, you have to go and you have to show up. Boy, you just got to show up. You're throwing the receivers. You don't have timing with. You got to figure it out. You got to put on a good face. You're interacting with people all week. You're interviewing. You're going through what everybody else is going through. Number one, I would say, what makes you so damn special that you don't have to do what I'm doing, right? If I'm JJ McCarthy, I'm looking at the guy that didn't even make the playoffs, who everyone says is the number 1 pick, a generational talent. What makes you so special? I'm a national champion. I've never lost in college, right? Except that playoff game, one playoff game, never lost a regular season in this entire life. So to me, I just don't like it. That's just the old school me because as growing up, everybody went to the combine. Everybody did the same thing. The pro day to me is easy because you've got your coaches, you've got your script, you've got your guys, your house, your turf. You're comfortable. Caleb looked extremely comfortable. Everybody, all the quarterbacks look so comfortable on their pro day, and they should. I want to see you uncomfortable, because at the quarterback position, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're never going to be comfortable. So that's just my thought on it, my opinion, and that's where I sit. I'm interested where you and all the QB huddlers sit with that.
So for me, I mean, you bring up a lot of great points, right? You know, you should focus in on being competitive, make yourself feel uncomfortable, right? Go through those things. But let's take an example, JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy is a prime example of what I'm talking about when it means show up to the combine and get your draft stock up, because it ain't. It's in the late rounds, right? Could be a second or third, right? You need to go out there and perform, right? Just because you lost in college one time, you only threw 27 touchdowns in 2 seasons.
Okay,
we're no. Stop. Let me finish. To a guy who said what makes you special threw 98 touchdowns in 2 seasons.
Okay.
Now, he's projected Caleb is the number 1 pick. Do I like Caleb? Not my style, but hey, do your thing. But his body of work in those 2 years definitely puts just a bright spotlight for a guy. Yes, he won the national championship, but how many quarterbacks have we seen win a national championship and not produce in the NFL at a high level? But they didn't throw as many touchdowns either. They were a contributor to a great team around them, right? I can go down the list. Ken Dorsey. Who else we got?
AJ McCarron.
Tommy Frazier. AJ McCarron. Now, AJ a bad boy. He just ain't get his shot. Hold on now. We coming to that.
I love AJ.
AJ's the number 1 quarterback in the XFL right now. Maybe.
Allow me to rebuttal you for a moment about the JJ, Caleb, touchdown passes, all those things. Because you and I have a segment that we call Brady Moment.
We're not even – oh, my God.
Right? We have that segment. I dare you. In fact, I ask you to go back and look through all the tape of Michigan and USC. Every quarterback under Lincoln Riley puts up big numbers, period. Every quarterback has. Jalen Hurts looked like one of the best passers in the world, and we know he's not. So my point is this. Look at the big moments. I'm going to take you to one moment. Alabama, close game. Michigan running the ball, really leaning on that offensive line, and Blake Corum playing defense. And all of a sudden, they need a 98-yard drive. And what does JJ do? He drives them right down the field, puts them in the end zone. JJ has more clutch moments. And he didn't throw a lot of touchdowns, but when he did throw the touchdowns, they mattered.
Has JJ ever brought a team back from 27-3 as a true freshman?
He's at Oklahoma, bro.
At Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry against Texas, who is now a top 3 team. What do you mean?
Let me ask you this. Name me a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback with all of this hype that's ever done anything in the NFL.
Cam Newton.
Okay. He had, 2-3 good years.
Won an MVP. Won an MVP.
Name me another one then. One more. Just give me one more.
That won a Heisman or a national championship?
No, that had the hype that Caleb has. Because every quarterback that I can think in history that has the hype surrounding this number 1 pick like this. Andrew Luck retired after 4 years?
Andrew Luck balled when he came out.
He was great.
He was so good. Do you realize how good he be in this league right now? Oh my God.
I agree with you. But he
might be Mahomes' worst nightmare.
I'm just saying, we see more guys flare out that have this type of hype surrounding them that won a Heisman than we see succeed.
Anybody else you want me to name? Joe Burrow? Who else?
You can take
he won a Heisman and a Natty.
Yeah, and he still didn't have all the hype that Caleb Williams has.
He did have a lot of hype.
Not the hype. Did they call him a generational talent? Did they call him? Yeah. Did they say he was as good as Tom Brady, who was the best quarterback in the league?
They were calling him the next Tom Brady. He had the most successful season.
Not till he played. No,
he threw 63 touchdowns in a season, Tim.
They told
in college and won a national championship and won a Heisman.
Okay.
And you would say he is number 2 to Mr. Joe Burrow.
I'm
Or
just
excuse
not
me,
bought in.
Mahomes. My bad.
I'm not bought in. I need to see more. I saw
Yes.
my last vision of Caleb Williams is crying up in the stands because he lost the football game. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
he's worried. But
He's
check
soft.
this out.
Listen, he's soft. He's soft. You can't be
We're gonna
soft to
find
be a
out.
Chicago Bear.
We're gonna find out.
He's
We're
as
gonna
soft
find
as
out.
Charmin, bro. You
Oh,
can't
we're
be
gonna
soft
find
to be a
out.
Bear.
Hey, listeners, I guarantee you, this season, Tim will buy a Caleb Williams jersey. I'm calling it.
That's not happening.
I'm calling it right now.
Fanatics wants to give me one. I'll take one. The Bears want to send me one. That's fine.
Caleb's just the greatest thing ever. I don't know what's going on. Now, think about this. I think Caleb has a lot to prove from the pocket. I know he's spectacular. But getting off that, let's dive into the chat because it's loaded right now. It's loaded with saying, Tim, you're hating. Kobe said the combine. Listen to my former QB1 here, man. Kobe.
Buddies.
Combine is an event. Pro day is a real job interview. You damn right it is. The pressure is all the way on pro day more than it is the combine. And you have to be a genetic freak and try to get your draft stock up at the combine versus a pro day where several scouts are focused on you and watch your every single move. When do you ever play with people that you never play with ever or have any type of pregame or
as soon as you get to the NFL.
In a no.
Practice one.
Stop.
You don't know anybody.
Stop, bro. Stop. Because just like at practice one, you're going to get with the receivers, chop it up, throw the ball around a little bit, work in, work out, right? That is the combine does not simulate realism on the field. It doesn't.
Well, listen, I told you so. I'm not a bandwagon rider, whatever that means. I've been on this Caleb. I've been off this Caleb train all season since the beginning.
I don't
of the
like Caleb either. Caleb's I'm not a fan. I just think for me, I'm not going to be shocked if he's good because there's no denying his talent. But he needs to for me, what I was looking at during his pro day, it wasn't the throws. I could give two shits if you could throw 70 yards down the field. Can you complete a hot route within 1.5 seconds of grabbing the ball, laces or not? Get on your back foot, drive. That A gap is free and getting ready to smoke you. Oh, wait, throw a 10-yard out, right? During a little bit of soft press coverage here, right? Can you time that throw? I haven't seen that with him. And that's what I'm that is the missing piece.
That's the top two guys, though.
But look, the footwork was so smooth. Now, if I have his footwork dialed, most guys don't have those feet, man. They're a clusterfuck, especially in an offense like him. He's not used to it, but you could tell he really emphasized. Man ain't had a cut and an edge up in 6 months. He's dialed in.
Did you like his footwork when he simulated in the pocket? Because I didn't like his.
You don't have the running back there, Tim. The footwork was there, man. It was on time and rhythm. So. It was on time and rhythm. That's what I look at. I think McCarthy had a really good pro day too. I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
I just don't think McCarthy gets enough opportunities.
What if the Bears were to go ahead and make that trade, give Caleb to Washington, and do what I read today and draft J.J. McCarthy?
God,
would that shock you?
It wouldn't shock me. I think J.J. has good character, right? I think he's a good kid. I think I look at Brock Purdy to me has changed, and I know I'm going to bring this up. But he has literally changed the QB position damn near forever of how we evaluate him. Because one, JJ's got a body of work. JJ has not had a lot of opportunities to throw the ball 20 times a game, bro.
True.
He hasn't, right? So he's very you don't know what you have, right? But you know you got a winner.
That's what he's smart. You know he's got good character. He's a good leader.
Yeah. That's great intangibles. Yeah. But I just don't know when you're stepping in a franchise like that, man, they're going to tell you to throw the ball 30 times a game. They're going to. Right? You're forcing a franchise where you don't have a good offensive line.
I want him to come to Chicago, but I don't.
I think the perfect fit for JJ is Minnesota.
But see, even that, well, yeah, it is because let Sam Darnold.
It's a young guy. Yeah, he can learn. Yeah. He's chill, right?
Let me,
I think that'll be good for him.
so this is good. You and I haven't talked about this guy yet. And we're going to go through your picks here in a minute, who you think is going to be drafted where. I think we all kind of have an idea, but let me ask you about Jaden Daniels, because there's a lot of hype surrounding him. And man, to be honest with you, I feel like, yes, he has a lot of upside. I feel like he's another Justin Fields type player with athleticism and the way he throws the deep ball and all those things. But I think he's a project. Do you feel like he's a play tomorrow guy? Is he the number one pick in the draft to you, or the number 2 pick rather?
I think he could be, and I say this because the game is changing. The game has evolved big time from when it used to be. Right, obviously the evolution continuing to start. It started with Michael Vick. It's starting to trend with these athletic freaks. Jaden Daniels a freak, man. He's just small,
but there still
right?
has to
He's
be a foundation,
tall,
right?
Right. It does have to be a
foundation, right? You have to.
He does have pocket He does have pocket foundation. I think he plays. I think he plays well. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen him struggle at Arizona State. I've seen the bad side, right? But I've also seen the good side. This kid has been number 1, number 2 his entire life. Him and Bryce Young grew up together, right, in Cali. So they battle back and forth. Jaden Daniels, if Jaden gets some meat on the bone, he's going to be a problem, because with Cliff Kingsbury in Washington, that fit. Oh,
a couple things scare me about
that's
Jaden.
A fit.
Couple things scare me. You mentioned it earlier. Can he?
But yes, he's a project.
Can he catch and shoot?
Are.
Yeah, can he catch and shoot? I don't think he can catch and shoot. Can he? Is he big? Can he get bigger? And then the other thing is, if you watched him in college, he didn't.
6'4".
No, I mean bulkier.
He'll get bigger, man.
He did not protect himself well in college.
He needs to slide.
He can't run like he ran in college in the NFL, because
he's getting folded like Gumby.
Right, and he twisted around. He's doing helicopter spins. Like, no, you can't get hit by NFL linebackers like that.
I just think the way the
Anthony
game's
Richardson
changed,
learned that, hopefully, because he didn't protect himself.
I just think the game's changed, man, entirely. I just think it has. Am I sold on any of these quarterbacks right now? I will tell the world in QB Huddle, no, I'm not. I'm not
even Penix and McCarthy, who you raved about.
None of them.
No,
I love Penix. Don't get me wrong. I think Penix is probably the most ready out of anybody, because Penix has had a lot of reps. A lot of reps, brother. A lot of reps. So and he's had success in two different spots.
Give me your mock quarterback draft. Give it to me.
What do you mean? Like top 10
Give me your
QBs?
top 5. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks and where they're going to go.
My
You
top 5?
gotta have in mind. You got to have something in mind. Like, are the Bears going to take Caleb, or are they going to trade and take someone else? What do you think?
If you were to ask my true top 5 right now, I'm going to take Michael Penix. Penix is bigger than I thought. He's big. He's big.
The knee surgeries don't scare you? I love Penix.
Because he's overcome it. Frank Gore tore both his ACLs and played 15 years in the NFL.
Okay.
Right. I feel like I would love to see him go to like Seattle, learn under Geno. Right. I think that's a perfect spot for him. He's my top guy on the board. Why? Because not only can he shoot it, right, but he's got the experience. It's just something about experience, man. I mean, when you go even back, reflect, he's a 4-year starter. Right? That's a lot of games, Tim.
He showed some weakness against that Michigan defense. Does that bother you?
Yeah. No, I think Michigan I mean, that O-line wasn't there, bro. It wasn't their day. I think Penix just, yes, we can be enamored with Caleb. Caleb just doesn't throw in rhythm for me. I'd say Penix, Jaden Daniels is number 2. I just love the uber athleticism, just being a freak. He's won the Heisman. He broke Joe Burrow's records. I think you get him in a good fit, a good situation where he can utilize his skill set. I think he'll be phenomenal. I think the Commanders are a perfect landing spot for him and just to learn and grow. Caleb, obviously, he's going to go to the Bears. I just think that's already going to be a fit. Then I got JJ. I got JJ McCarthy because JJ's the unknown, but I love the intangibles that JJ brings. I mean, he's a national championship winner. I'm not going to take away any success away from him, but I haven't seen a bigger sample size than what I've already seen. It's not large enough for me to be like, okay, go to Denver or Minnesota, and we're putting the thing in your hands right now. I would love to see all these guys as bridge quarterbacks.
There's talk of him
Or
going
not
to
bridge
New York.
quarterbacks, but a bridge quarterback to help bring them up. I just don't think anybody's ready to start right now besides like a Drake May or Caleb Williams. That's because of the situation.
I don't know about Drake. I don't know about Drake May.
Drake May goes to the Patriots. Yeah, Drake May goes to the Patriots, brother. He's going to start. They're going to force the hand.
And he might. And if he does, don't be surprised if the New York Giants take J.J. McCarthy to sit behind what's his name, big number 8 there for a minute, and then let him take over. Because they're about done with Daniel Jones.
I told you so. Spencer Rattler, Drake May, and Bo Nix. I don't know about either one of them.
Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix, I would stay away from.
However, I do like Bo Nix' game. I like his game, but he doesn't throw down the field enough for me. I don't know. He's sporadic at times. He's very accurate, but I'm talking about in sporadic of making those bonehead decisions sometimes. We've seen it at Auburn.
Tebow. I don't know.
We saw it. Nah, he can roll, bro. Did he not run the 40? I think the sleeper here is Joe Milton, man, and Michael Pratt.
Did you see? Listen, we talked about footwork. His footwork at the combine was awful. Milton. Talk about a project. Just because you can throw it an orange 115 yards doesn't impress me. That kid's not ready to play. He is nowhere close ready.
Tim, I don't think none of them are ready to play.
Except for you said Drake May was ready. You said Penix was ready.
No, I don't think Drake May is ready. The only way I say Drake May is ready and Caleb is they're going to be forced in the spotlight if they go to Chicago or New England. It's forced. It's like
bottom line.
Here.
We know what's going to happen. The Bears are going to take Caleb. He's going to have to play. Washington's going to take.
Hell yeah, Lois, I would.
Jane Daniels is going to have to play.
Rattlers.
I don't know what New England's going to do, but my gut tells me they're going to take a quarterback. Well, Arizona's not. Los Angeles certainly not. The Giants could easily take JJ or the Vikings.
Don't sleep on Michael Pratt. Have you seen him play?
Yeah.
He's good, man. He kicked our ass.
But I'm with you.
And I'm a USC fan. I was like, God.
Even with my JJ jersey on right now, he's my favorite quarterback. As John Harbaugh says, I think he plays quarterback better than any quarterback in the draft right now. I think he plays.
He probably does. Probably understands
the best.
Yeah,
he tested the best on the whiteboard of any quarterback that was at the combine. But I still don't want to see him play right away. It's just
not enough reps, Tim. And the only way to figure that out is not sitting. You're going to have to play him. If you're a top 5 pick, they're saying he may go second off the board.
Wow.
Like, what?
That'd be something else, wouldn't it?
For someone who had 27 TD passes.
It's because of what they're seeing in him in the intangible. And by the way, I'm going to say it again.
Bro.
His 27 touchdown passes mattered. They weren't up 70-2. They mattered. They were winning drives. He went 98 yards on Alabama. We talk about Alabama like they are gods to football. My man went 98 yards because the punt returner dropped the punt. Remember that? That was the reason they beat Alabama.
All right, man. You're a diehard Michigan fan, and you're going to fall on the sword with your guys.
JJ's the best quarterback in Michigan since Tom Brady.
So we're saying right now. That JJ McCarthy will be the best quarterback in this draft. Are you throwing the chips in right now?
Well, I got to see where he gets drafted.
Oh, well, you see where
situation matters.
No.
Situation matters. If Patrick Mahomes goes to the Bears, he's not being in the conversation of the GOAT right now. Come on. Let's be fair. Situation matters. Let's talk after the draft, and I will give you. That'll be our subject. We'll talk about.
Someone said in the chat. Another Michigan bust.
Listen. Michigan hasn't had a quarterback since Tom Brady, right? To do anything. We know this. We understand this.
And Tom wasn't even supposed to be there.
He wasn't supposed to be there. And you know what? Either is JJ, but he's got all. And by the way, JJ.
Nah, JJ was a high recruit, bro.
JJ has been around Tom Brady for a long time, by the way.
Tom going to take care of him.
He's one of his mentors. So
him and Shador take care of him.
The disrespect that is being thrown JJ McCarthy.
Hey, throw the chips in. If he goes to Minnesota, he's going to succeed. That's the perfect spot for the kid.
Yeah.
And I know Stefan's going to be so excited.
He will be. I don't want him to go to Minnesota. I don't want him to go into the NFC Central or the NFC East. Maybe the Cowboys trade up and get him. Maybe he's the replacement for Dak next year. That would be amazing.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, well, that takes us to halftime. That was a pretty spicy first half. Shout out to the Couch Coach Club. We have been in discussions, and we are coming back soon.
We're back.
Shout out to Fanatics. Coach Harris has told me that he's got something in the works with Fanatics. We are still looking for that sponsorship. And shout out to the chat. Brandon, get into it a little bit because it is active about these quarterbacks, man.
Yeah, man. Los and I told you so are going at it right now. And it said another Michigan bust. My man Los said Purdy set the tone. I want my QB 4 years in college now. They make enough in NIL. That makes a lot of sense, bro. The only one who's a deep 4-year starter is Michael Penix. I'm just saying. Michael Penix and Sam Hartman. Look out for it.
Yep. Now JJ had to sit for 2 years because and it didn't make sense. He was better than the quarterback in front of him.
Hey, but JJ did have 4 years to play though.
He did, and he did play those other 2 years. He just
it's not like they're just in and out. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. Jaden Daniels, like, he balled out, but it's a huge one-hit wonder. Like, it's like, oh,
yeah,
that's who you are, because they were questioning what their quarterback situation was going to be his junior year, right?
He's an incredible athlete, but
he's great. Listen, man, I'm not taking anything away from that boy. If it was me, I'm taking him over Caleb. That's just
no.
me.
And here's why the Bears.
It ain't no. He's gonna stay. He's gonna chill and work.
I say the Bears can't do that because if you're going to do that, you might as well just kept Justin Fields and developed him.
Otherwise, absolutely. You should have never got rid of Fields.
You're getting the same guy that you have to develop. Never should have gotten rid of Justin.
Should have never got rid of Justin Fields. How dare thou?
But you know what? When they signed Keenan Allen, it was pretty. The writing was on the wall because at that point, they're not going to draft a receiver. At least not a number one receiver like a Marvin Harrison Jr. because you have 2 number ones on your team right now. So you knew that they were going to go quarterback, and that's upsetting.
So Los in the chat, he said, "What happened to the Michigan quarterback that didn't tie his shoes? Shoelace.
He's played running back for the Jaguars.
Yeah, he did, but he's actually a coach. He's a staff member on the Michigan coaching staff.
There you go.
He's a coach.
I didn't even know that. How did you know that?
Oh, sometimes I just know some things here and two, or just go down the rabbit hole.
He wasn't really a quarterback, bro. That was our Wildcat phase.
He was never really a QB. Man, he was cold. Boy, you better stop. Stop, Tim. Just because you couldn't run like that doesn't mean you have to hate and say he's not a quarterback. He could throw it too. We
basically ran Wildcat for 2 years.
I used to score like offense. I used to score 100 points with Michigan's offense with that dude.
In college. That game's coming back, by the way. July.
I'm so excited.
12th, I think it gets dropped.
I'm ready to hand out some L's.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. We are still here. We're going to be talking about the UFL, and that brings us to where we are now. The UFL, again, they have 2 conferences. They have the USFL conference and the XFL conference. Last week, Lauren and I introduced the teams and the quarterbacks along with Coach Harris. Today, Brandon and I are going to go into a little history about these quarterbacks and who they are. So when you're watching the game, you'll know just a little bit more about them. Brandon, I'm going to defer to you as you start off with the USFL conference quarterbacks and where they come from.
Yeah, man. So, this is actually going to be pretty good. I know people are thinking the UFL is, going to be a watered down, NFL with some of the rule changes and things. I think that we're going to get a lot of good football. I think we're really underestimating the thing, right? There's a lot of tremendous teams. There's a lot of really good players in this league, and these quarterbacks, not only are they young, they're big.
Yeah,
they've all played at a high level, right? Coming from different NFL practice squads, or they've been on the active roster, right? They're just looking to get their chance. And so the first one we want to dive into, the Birmingham Stallions. Now, Birmingham's been known when they first got in the USFL, I think. Didn't they win the championship with Trent Richardson?
I think so.
They changed the name, right? They changed the name. They got Skip Holtz, the son of Lou Holtz.
We know Lou Holtz.
I can't even intimidate
Don't
his
even
ass.
try it.
He
Don't
sounds
even
like
try
he's
it.
always got spit in his mouth. But
Uh,
he's got a hold of the head coach OC job. You got Matt Corral, which if you remember from Matt Corral, he was a former draft pick from the Panthers, right? Didn't really get a chance, went to New England. It's unfortunately had a mental breakdown or whatever. Blessings up to him, but he played at Ole Miss and he was a bad boy. He decided to play in that bowl game, right? When players were opting out and
I
end
remember
up
that.
tearing his ACL.
Yep.
He was a projected first round pick, tore his ACL, dropped in like the 5th or 6th round, got picked up. But it's unfortunate, right? Now he's got an opportunity. But then you got the other guy, Adrian Martinez. You know, Matt's 25, Adrian's 24 out of Kansas State. If you guys remember, he played in Nebraska and Kansas State, has great athletic ability. And then you got the old savvy vet who holds his offense. He actually went to a championship when the USFL first started, Jamar Smith out of Latte.
Jamar Smith, sure.
Right. So he's a good player, right? A good savvy vet, but you got to think that Matt Corral and Adrian Martinez are going to battle it out. I mean, Jamar is 27. These guys are 24, 25, but it's good to have a savvy vet there, right? Then that just turns around and moves us to Houston, right? We're known for Houston. Back in the 80s, Jim Kelly used to play for Houston, if you remember it.
Yeah.
And so you go back to those days. So they got a rich history. You know, who's the other gentleman who came out? God, he was the MVP. Played his butt off. He beat us. PJ Walker.
PJ.
Played out of Houston, right? So this is a different team, but they've combined it now from those two sectors. And so Jarrett Guadartano, he's a big arm, played for the Cardinals. He had a couple of games out there, played at Washington State. Then you got Nolan Henderson from Delaware and Reed Sinnett from San Diego. Reed has been around quite a bit in the league, kind of another savvy vet with two young guys kind of seeing what's going. So if you look at the dynamic of this, just based on the two teams in this league, they got a savvy vet and then they got two young guys that they're trying to develop, right? So that's really good, right? That seems to be the trend. Then you got the Memphis Showboats. Don't be shocked if they're a team to beat, right? You got Case Cookus. How cold is that name? All he does is cook. Right. So he's been one of the top rated quarterbacks in the USFL for the past 2 seasons. Right. He put a back-to-back 3K passing 25 plus touchdowns. Now 25 plus touchdowns in an 8-game league is pretty damn deadly. Right. It's pretty good. Right. Got him to a title game, but got hurt. Then you got Josh Love, a big kid out of San Jose State. Then Troy Williams took his team to a USFL title out of Utah. He's 29. So this is a little bit of an older group with Memphis. They're 29, 27, 28. So really, I think Case Cookus is going to be probably the guy. And then Troy Williams is probably going to back him up. Then you got the Michigan Panthers, man. You got Mike Nolan, former 49er coach, as the head coach. And then you got our Marcel Belfello as an OC, just a member of that Andy Reid tree, which is kind of cool to see. It's funny how all these OCs, kind of tie in. Doug Martin's an OC. He came from the Philly offense as well, too, I believe. But you got Danny Eatland from LSU. EJ Perry is a solid starter. He's played well he's a young kid. This might be one of the youngest quarterback rooms, Michigan Panthers. They're all average age of 25. So
young group.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens with them, man. But other than that, I think, man, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, we'd be a fool to say we focused in on this last year, the year before, or even in COVID, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't focus in on it, but we saw some real football coming back. And what we've been experiencing with the NFL is detrimental, man. You know what the hell you signed up for, bro. You know what you signed up for. You're going to get bumps and bruises. I just had back surgery just because I took so many hits for so long. But I knew what I signed up for, right? It's a gladiator sport, and you're making it a glorified 7-on-7. So I think the UFL is going to take advantage of that. And don't be surprised if they have a spike from the ratings last year. There's a lot of good quarterbacks, man.
I think they will have good ratings this year because you're not focused on 2 different leagues. It's one league. It's one spring league. It's the only games to watch. There's 4 games a weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll bring us into the XFL conference. We'll start with the Arlington Renegades, and who I think is their starter is Luis Perez. Now, I'm going to take you through a little bit of Luis. He's a little bit older. He was born in 94, 6'3", 220, so big guy. This guy has played with the Los Angeles Rams, the Birmingham Iron, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, Los Angeles Wildcats, New York Guardians, New Jersey Generals. You might remember them from the USFL. Los Angeles Rams again, the Vegas Vipers, and now he's here with the Arlington Renegades. He's been an XFL champion in 2023. He was
my man got a closet of jerseys.
He was the championship game MVP. He was the USFL passer rating leader in 2022. He was the completion percentage leader in the USFL in 2022. He won the Harlan Hill Trophy in 2017.
Hey, D2 guy. Where'd he play at?
He won an NFL. I'll get to that. He won a NCAA Division II national championship in 2017. He was first team All-American.
He's Northwest
first
dude.
team All-Star Conference. He played at, I believe, yes, Texas A&M Commerce is where he played at. So he's a local kid.
Luis Perez. Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about Commerce. We played Commerce in college, man.
So you're talking about, look,
beat him too.
The Arlington Renegades, they got a baller at quarterback, right? They
just drafted a dude.
They have a couple. So they have a couple young guys. They have Holden Allers. Holden Allers, he comes, from East Carolina University. This is going to be his first year here with the XFL. He spent some time with Seattle last year, coming out of college, and now he is with the Renegades. You expect that he is a developmental guy. And then they have Lindsey Scott Jr. as well. Lindsey Scott, he comes from the East Mississippi Lions. He also played at LSU for a time. He's an NJCAA national championship, a
JUCO.
Walter Payton Award winner. He is a first team FCS All-American.
Is he at IUW?
Well, he began his career with LSU, then he went to East Mississippi Lions, and I'm not sure what division they're in. I'd have to look that up. I only went so deep here. He was the Southland Player of the Year in 2022, first team All SLC in 2022. This kid's a baller, and look out, quarterback Perez, because look out, Louise. He may be coming for you. Now we move on to the DC Defenders. The DC Defenders are loaded at quarterback.
Are we just? Can we say are we the fans of the DC Defenders? I mean, I like to claim Renegade too.
Look,
they're the home team, but I like Renegade. I like them, man.
I'm a fan of the Defenders. Coach Harris is a fan of the show. Yep. I'm actually going to be at their practice Thursday morning. I'm going to get to meet some of the coaches, and I'll hopefully get to meet Jordan. Jordan is their starting quarterback. I can't say his last name. What do you say? Teamu?
Man, Teamu.
I think that's how I say it. I don't want to mess it up. I don't
know. It's a cool name, man, and you look clean on the field too.
Oh,
you're killing it. Swag is ready.
Stud. Let's talk about it. Houston Texans, St. Louis Battlehawks, Kansas City Chiefs, Detroit Lions, back to the Chiefs, back to the Lions, Washington Football Team, Carolina Panthers, Tampa Bay Bandits, DC Defenders, Minnesota again last year for a stint, and then back with the DC Defenders this year. Last year, he was the XFL Player of the Year. That was in 2023, all XFL team. In the USFL, he was the passing leader in 2022, and he was the touchdown leader in 2022 as well in the USFL. So you're talking about a stud, right? We've got quarterbacks everywhere. Cookie. Let's hope the receivers are as good as these quarterbacks. Here's a name you're going to know for the DC Defenders. Jalen McClendon. You may remember him from Baylor. He definitely spent time there. He started at NC State, and then he ended up transferring to Baylor. He spent time with the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Redskins, the Los Angeles Wildcats, the Vegas Vipers, and now he is here with the DC Defenders, and they love him in that quarterback room from what I'm told. Wicked smart, good athlete, is really bringing a lot to the room. Then we have DeAndre Francois. DeAndre comes from Florida State University. He also played some football for Hampton University, so he's been around just a little bit. Let's see. He played for in the fan-controlled football league with James Harden, who's a friend of the show. He played with the Glacier Boys. He played with Board Ape Football Club. He played with the Orlando Guardians, and he played with the DC Defenders. Well, this year, of course, is his rookie year. So that's who they have in the room with DC, which I get to meet all those kids coming up this weekend. I'm pretty excited about it. Now we go to San Antonio. San Antonio, not sure who is number one. I think it's going to be Quentin Dormady. Not positive about that, just based on what I saw from the kid. He played with Montreal in the CFL in 21-22. He played with the Orlando Guardians, and now he's there in San Antonio. They have a great fan base there in San Antonio.
Yeah, they do.
They're really doing great things. He comes from West Union, Iowa. He played his college at Tennessee, Houston, and Central Michigan, so he moved around a little bit, but again, he played in the CFL. I think he's probably the number one guy, but again, we don't have the depth charts just yet. Kurt Benkert. Say that fast 3 times. He is also in the room. He went to East Carolina and Virginia. So I noticed that I guess the transfer portal is real.
I remember him.
Played at different colleges. He spent time with the Atlanta Falcons, Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, and now in San Antonio. He hasn't had a lot of XFL stats. He's thrown 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, but you imagine he's in the room to develop. Then there's Tom Flacco. Tom Flacco, much like most of these quarterbacks, he's a younger guy. He spent some time inside Saskatchewan Rough Riders there in the CFL. He was with Ottawa Red Blacks, Houston Roughnecks, and now San Antonio. He was with Houston earlier in the year and now is with San Antonio. So not sure what transpired there. He went to Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan. They usually get good quarterbacks. He's a big dude too, 6 foot. Well, not that big, 6'1", 205. So maybe not as big as I thought. For some reason, I thought he was a little bit bigger than that. Then we go to Chase Garbers. Chase Garbers, ladies and gentlemen, is out of California. So he played at the same college as the one and only Aaron Rodgers. So is he Aaron Rodgers like? We do not know. He spent some time last year with Las Vegas, with the Las Vegas Raiders, that is. Now he's there in San Antonio. Is he the number one guy? Is he fighting for that job? Not sure. We're going to find out this week for sure. Not very well. He's 6'2", 225, so a little bit bigger than some of the other guys, but he's athletic from everything that I can find out on him. And then we go to the St. Louis Battlehawks. My favorite quarterback in the league, A.J. McCarron. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Everybody knows A.J. He won a national title with Alabama. He spent time with the Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, Oakland Raiders, Houston Texans, Atlanta Falcons. He was with the Battlehawks, the Bengals, back to the Bengals, and now back to the Battlehawks. Listen to this resume. XFL passing leader in touchdowns last year. XFL completion percentage leader last year. XFL passing rating leader last year. 3-time BCS national champion. I said 1 time. Maxwell Award winner. Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award winner. Kellen Moore Award. First team All-American in 2013. Third team All-American in 2012. 2-time second team All-SEC in 2012 and 2013. It doesn't get much better than A.J. McCarron. I'm just going to say that. Is he as athletic as some of these other guys?
I think it's really good for the league to see all these guys that, you know, can shoot it. I mean, you go back and look at their careers. There's, I mean, you forgot about Francois, the third-string quarterback.
I talked about Francois already.
Maybe I just blanked out on that.
Yeah,
maybe it blanked out.
I got 2 left. Brandon Silvers plays for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He played his college football at Troy. He played with the Seattle Dragons, Memphis Express, New York Jets, and the Houston Roughnecks just last year. He was a first-team All-Sun Belt quarterback in 2016, 6'2", 218. And then there's one more left for you guys to know, and that's Manny Wilkins. Manny Wilkins is also part of the Battlehawks, so they've just got the 3 quarterbacks, 2 guys.
Played in Green Bay for a bit, didn't he?
He did play. That's his picture.
I remember him.
Actually. Green Bay Packers is where he started. He after the NFL draft, he signed with them in 2019. He played his college football at Arizona State. 6'2", 193. Green Bay was just a short stint there in 2019, and now he's here in 2023. You know, it's a good spot, and this just shows you second chances, right? It's been a little while.
A lot of second chances for these guys.
Football, and he's getting a second chance. So
backs against the wall.
Backs against the wall. What are you doing, Brandon? You're a young guy, and you've got this opportunity. You're not the starter. How are you approaching every single day in that quarterback room?
I think you approach it just like as if you're the starter. I mean, you got to think about if you're second on the depth chart, you're 1 snap away. You're third on the depth, you're 2 snaps away. But you've got to prepare yourself. because a coach cannot prepare you for everything. And so you taking the reps. Yeah, I know you got scout team reps, but go back and watch the first cut up of, team or team blitz, amongst the first team, go through your reads, make sure you're not making the same mistakes the starter was, or if you're executing at a high level, because this game is precious, man. And as much as you love the game doesn't love you back. And any chance, any second, any snap, an injury can happen, right? You got to
Right.
be prepared, man. So, these young guys, take advantage of your opportunities. There's a lot of older vets who's been through this, probably more secure financially than a lot of these younger guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so take advantage of your, moments, pick their brain. If this is what you really want to do, you can really make a career out of this. And I feel like this merger is going to allow guys to not only grow, within the game or be a farm system, but probably find a home, financially for them and their families. Maybe this thing takes off. Maybe some of the NFL fans just get ticked off of the way the NFL rules are now being projected with two crucial rulings that came in over the past 2 days. Right. And so this is a prime opportunity for the UFL to really produce at a high level and get back to old school football. I think that's what everybody wants.
Well, we've got it coming up this weekend, Brandon. Tell them about the games that we have coming up on Saturday. Let the folks know who's playing and where they can watch the game.
So you can watch your game on Fox or Fox Sports or Sirius XM, right? If you're in the car, here's the good part about it. You're going to have 2 games, on Saturdays and 2 games on Sundays. I think this really helps out. You got the Birmingham Stallions and the Arlington Renegades. The winner of the this is basically championship Saturday, right? The 2 winners of both leagues, USFL champion takes on the XFL champion in Arlington live, 1:00. Wow. Damn, I wish I could be there at Choctaw Stadium. Now the St. Louis Battlehawks play Michigan Panthers. Now, I'm curious to see this because St. Louis has one of the best crowds, and they're going on the road for the first time. Most of the time, they've always played at home first, from what I remember.
Right. They have a great
even when they had Jordan. Now the DC Defenders, they go travel again. A huge fan base. Their fans are nuts, and I wish all of these guys would play in soccer stadiums because it would be packed and it would be so loud and crazy. Right? Choctaw Stadium is a little larger. But DC Defenders go down and take on San Antonio. Don't sleep on them, but I think DC Defenders kicks them. I got the Battlehawks winning the other one. I got Arlington Renegades winning. And then we got the Memphis Showboats and the Houston Roughnecks. I got Houston with the win on that.
Now, keep in mind, those last 2 games, the DC Defenders, Sundays. San Antonio, that game's on ESPN on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, which would be 11 o'clock Central for us in Texas, Oklahoma. Memphis will play Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern, also on ESPN, also on Sirius XM Radio. So Saturday, it's Fox Sports. Sunday, you're over at ESPN. It's unfortunate that we're in the middle of the tournament right now, but guys, watch some football. It's going to be exciting.
Check this out. Can Michigan pack the place? They're at Ford Field.
Oh, wow. No.
Can San Antonio pack the Alamo Dome?
Yes. I think so. They're fiending for football.
Can Texas? I know they finally have a champion and we got the Rangers, but we all know the Cowboys ain't pissed a drop in years.
Okay.
Now, can Choctaw Stadium pack it out?
I'm about to mute.
Hey, good tickets are $75, man. So we got to get down there. I want to be there when they play the Renegades versus Defenders. Yeah, DC.
Yeah, we're definitely in the house anytime the Defenders play here. Defenders going down to San Antonio. I'll tell you, when I coached the Bulls in the arena football, we went and played a San Antonio team, and they weren't. I mean, we beat them, but they were a packed house, and they were loud, and they were passionate.
I just need a hat, coach. That's all I want.
They're dying for football.
Just a snapback. That's all I need for golf.
That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach Harris told me he's got some stuff for us, hats and shirts and stuff. So we got to be DC Defender fans. That's just the way it goes. Although I don't like their professional team out there in DC, but we won't talk about them. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to get off your chest while you're here? Anything you want to talk about?
It feels damn good to be back.
It's good to see you upright for more than 15 minutes on a morning meeting call for
sure.
what we do in our real lives, which is work. So, well, I guess that'll close out this week's of the QB Huddle podcast. We appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. Once again, please smash that subscribe button. If you like our show, smash the like button and be sure to share our page with all of your people. For my podcast partner, Brandon Newey, I'm Tim Smith. Till next time, stay in the pocket, my friends.